Today I'm going to fly on this Chinese tractor. I almost get lost at the provincial airport and I meet the loveliest cabin crew. Good morning from the capital of the People's Democratic Republic of Laos, Vientiane. My grab ride is taking me to the domestic part of Wat Thai International Airport, where I proceed straight to the Lao Skyway check-in area. Luang Prabang is my destination for today, but only for a very brief visit, which I will explain later on the plane. Today's goal, however, is not the destination, but the aircraft. Said that, welcome to my channel if you are new here. Wat Thai International Airport has this fairly unique architecture with this outside walkway along the terminal leading to the apron, and in the background we already see the made in China Xi'an MA-60 arriving from another domestic flight. After a short wait, boarding gate opened and I make my way to the aforementioned walkway. From up here I got a bit of an overview of what's standing around, like this ATR-72 of Lanesang Airways. I hope I pronounced it correctly, probably not. Downstairs it goes, and I find myself in front of this pretty cool looking MA60, which has its origins with the Antonov An-24 or 26. I especially like this anhedral wing design, a distinguishing feature different from the, for example, quite straight ATR-72 wings. RDPL 34262 is the registration of my ride today, and boarding is from the rear of the aircraft, in contrary to the front boarding of its successor, the MA600. I made a video about that one as well. I was greeted very friendly by the cabin crew, and I got a first glance of this very red interior, a color that is quite dominant in Lao Skyway's CI. I found my seat at the emergency exit row in the 5th row that offers plenty of legroom. In the seat pocket I find the safety card of this MA60, whereas MA stands for Modern Arch. There isn't much more in the seat pocket, some air sickness bags and a flyer. On this outbound leg I will be facing one of the two Pratt & Whitney PW127J turboprop engines. The overhead lockers look pretty standard, at least compared to what I have seen on the original Antonov 24 a few years ago. This emergency exit looks almost like my grandma's armchair. Overhead I find this extra oxygen outlet, which I haven't seen in this form before. Legroom in the emergency exit certainly is very generous, promising a crampless flight. While one of the seats has this visible seat recline knob, funnily mine is hidden underneath here. We are on our way, while the cabin is almost empty with only a handful of passengers on board. And I'm excited to experience this 11 years old Chinese aircraft. I moved to a different row to show you the legroom and amenities there. It's certainly a bit tighter, but without a seat neighbor totally doable for me and my almost 2 meters. And check out all the fabrics covering the entire seat, including the armrest. Here is a classic fold-down tray table, as expected. So I have no idea whether you can hear me, because it's really loud in front of this aircraft. But here we are, on the Xi'an, I hope I pronounced it correctly, Xi'an MA-60. It has been on my bucket list for quite a while. Actually, it's the Xi'an MA-600 that was on my bucket list, but I'm gonna try it tomorrow. Today, We are off to Luang Prabang, I think it's called, on this pretty rare Chinese-built aircraft. Let's have a look at the seat recline situation, which looks like this. The closer we got towards Luang Prabang, the more impressive the landscape looked. The flight time is only about 45 minutes, so not too long, but just enough for this little flight review. Drinks were served on this flight, and I went for a bottle of water. I will try something else on my way back. The seatbelt sign is on and we are approaching Luang Prabang, which is located in this beautifully looking part of Laos. But what am I doing here? Well, not much. Let me explain. So today I'm gonna do it like Noel Phillips. I'm gonna do it stressful for myself. I have only 30 minutes to my next flight, which is gonna be exactly the same aircraft. So once we land, I have to make sure that I don't miss my flight back to Vientiane, which means getting out of the aircraft. I don't even have a boarding pass, so I have to go to check-in, get checked in again, go through security again, and then try to catch his flight. Well, if Noel Phillips can do that, I can do it too. A funny quirk is this window shade, which only stays closed if fully down. Over there we see the landing strip, where we will be touching down shortly. Welcome to Luang Prabang, which concludes my first MA60 flight with Lao Skyway. But hold on, this is not the end, as we shall see if I even make the return trip, considering the short turnaround time I have here. Thank you. I tried to joke with the cabin attendant, asking them to wait for me, but I guess I confused her. I mean, who flies to this beautiful place to just turn around and fly back home again with the same aircraft? I guess only the aviation geeks like me, desperate enough to fly on board a rare MA60. As much as I like turboprop aircraft like the ATR-72, I find the MA60 looks so much cooler. I made it into the Luang Prabang terminal and now I have to make sure I leave it again as fast as possible. I found the check-in counter, but no person who could give me the boarding pass. I guess I arrived past the check-in deadline. Eventually, I was approached by a Lao Skyway employee who awaited me with the boarding pass in his hand. Well done, Lao Skyway. So within minutes, I was in the airside waiting lounge, even with a few minutes spare. And I'm on my way back to the very same aircraft. Happy and relieved, all worked out. And this time I'm going to sit all the way in the back, which has its benefits as you will see shortly. This must be one of the longest aircraft registrations I have seen in a while. Row 14 out of 15 is my place on this return leg. So, as you can see, I made it. Let's go back to Vientiane.
เวลามันจะมีสายน้ำแสงที่เปิดทางยาวเดี๋ยวไว้ที่นี่มันจะเสีย
Seems my seatback recline is automated, or I guess it's just broken. But let me tell you that I want to go back to this area of Laos, just because of this incredible landscape. The cabin crew passed by again with the drinks cart, and the friendly lady tried to convince me to having a beer Lao, one of the popular local beers. But since I was taking antibiotics that week, I rather didn't want to mix my liver with alcohol and opted for a Pepsi instead. This is happy me, happy to be able to fly on such a rare bird. I just talked to the friendly flight attendant before, who was sitting behind me, and I was talking about the MA60 and MA600, and she was checking on her device that the MA600 is actually flying to Tokyo tomorrow, and that's the flight I booked tomorrow. So it is so far looking good, but tomorrow morning I will double check whether it's really going to be the MA600. If it's the MA60 again, I'll probably fly it again, but will not do a video. But if it's a 600, one more video is coming up. And by the way, this is how an MA60 lavatory looks like, with the water running a bit uncontrollable. I wish I had such a cheerful cabin crew on every single flight I do. Thank you guys. And we are approaching Vientiane already again. Isn't that a lovely crew? Please looking forward to see my video on YouTube. Thanks lovely crew, it was fun with you, and thanks for allowing to film me so freely on board this aircraft. Welcome back to Vientiane, which I left about 3 hours ago. And look what we have here, the MA60 successor, the MA600, still in basic Lao Air Force colors. Remember to watch my video about this flight too. And while you are at it, consider subscribing to my channel. This was my lovely experience on board the Xi'an MA-60, which I certainly enjoyed, as you probably could see in my video. For this round trip I paid roughly $75, which I find was a bargain. And if you haven't seen my experience on board this aircraft yet, consider watching it too. Thank you for watching. Till next time, bye for now.